Mr. Director, you're not here to tell us that the banks are not responsible, are you?
The bank management is responsible for operating
The bank management.
in a safe and sound manner.
Yes. And you are here to tell us that these bank managers mismanaged the bank's business. Is that a fair statement?
The record we saw were numerous instances of at least liquidity and risk management problems that had been identified going back to 2018.
Well, you said that the regulators were calling things to their attention that you thought should have been dealt with, and you've indicated as much. Do you now say that the banks did not have the responsibility to make these changes themselves?
The banks are responsible to resolving the problems that the supervisor has identified. Our concern, and that's the bank side, the
Yes.
supervisory concern is
we're talking
when nothing
about,
happens.
Excuse me, let's talk about the bank side for just a moment,
Okay.
if you would, please. You also have indicated that the agency has plenty of authority, and then you went on to say, but you didn't want to prejudge. You'd like to have an opportunity to review. Is that a fair statement?
Correct.
Excuse me if I may. I just needed to know if that was a fair statement. Now, knowing this, that it doesn't have, that it has plenty of authority, you're not saying that they have enough authority, are you? Because enough would mean that you wouldn't have the time to review.
The committee's request is for us to look at enhanced prudential standards, and
I
we intend
understand.
to do that.
Well, are you saying that the regulators have enough authority and that nothing more should be done?
I'm not in a position right now to judge whether
So
they
you're
have
not
enough.
saying that, are you? You're not saying, are you saying that?
I'm saying they have authorities.
They have authority, but you're not saying they have enough authority, are you?
I think we would need to do additional work in that space.
So to determine.
Correct.
So today you're not saying they have enough authority, are you?
We're saying they have authorities. We need.
But they don't have enough.
We need to conduct.
You don't
additional
know
work.
that they have enough.
I can't at this point say that they have enough.
Oh,
or
that's
too
fair
much.
enough. You can't at this point say that they have enough. And it's important for you to say this, Mr. Director, because the other side is making the case for enough authority. They're making the case for the status quo. They're making the case for banks to be able to do what Silicon Valley did. We're making the case for doing something that can have an impact on the people who have the responsibility to manage the depositors' money. They're not. Now, Mr. Director, is it true that the stress test can have an impact on the decisions that regulators make? Once they review it, if it's an adverse conclusion, can it have an impact on their decisions?
It is a factor in the supervision of organizations.
So it can have an impact on what they think, can it not? Are you shy about saying that an adverse stress test will have an impact on the decisions of regulators, Mr. Director?
The supervisory tests are an important element.
I understand, but let's talk about the stress test.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
It is.
And the stress test wasn't scheduled until, because of changes, the stress test was scheduled for 2024 for Silicon Valley Bank. Let me use my last 48 seconds to say this. I want to commend all of the members for their questions, but I want to commend especially the members on this side and those that decided to talk about the preeminent issue facing this Congress, which is, are we going to allow a default? I commend them for bringing it up. It's not unusual for us to bring up issues that relate to the business of the Congress, but not necessarily relate to the business of a given hearing. And I thank Mr. Horsford for what he did. He is upset because we may be facing a default that may cause a collapse of our economy. I yield back.
Gentleman's time has expired, and in accordance with